Let's bring in Georgia Republican representative. He's on the Judiciary and Rules Committee. He is Doug Collins. Good to see you, Congressman.
Hey, Liz, how are you tonight?
What do you think of Andrew McCabe stepping down? Report is that he was going to be demoted, and he chose to step down instead. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it should have happened a long time ago. This is not just something new. He should have been gone a long time ago. When you see just what is happening at the upper levels of the FBI right now, this is very disturbing. For those of us on the Hill, especially in the Judiciary Committee, who've been asking these questions of the previous administration, where we had a completely incompetent Loretta Lynch, who was Attorney General. You had it even worse that we found out through Comey. And now it just continues to seem like every time that the Inspector General or we ask questions, we're finding another bias. We're finding another something that did not like this president. And they were doing everything they possibly could. So in my opinion, it should have happened a long time ago. This is just demeaning and demoralizing to the men and women of the FBI who do good work out in our field offices and everywhere else. They have a corrupt, it looks like right now, upper management. It's time to clean house.
You know, Andrew McCabe was thought to be mentioned in that text message from FBI agent Peter Strzok to Lisa Page. That text message from August 15, 2016, quote, "I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office," that's believed to be Andy McCabe, "that there's no way he," meaning Donald Trump, "gets elected. But I'm afraid we cannot take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. And here's Lisa Page, seen in a C-SPAN video dated May 11, 2017, sitting behind Andrew McCabe at a Senate hearing. What are your thoughts about what's going on here?
Well, my question is again, these are the same people that also were supposed to be investigating Clinton's mishandling of emails. I've talked about this many times. People who have done far less with less classified information have been put in jail or fired because of what they did. They're sitting in an office worried about a political election. If they wanted to become political consultants, they should have quit the FBI and went in to run campaigns instead of doing it in the FBI director's offices and deciding who and what should be president or who should be the information should be leaked. This is concerning to me that they wasn't doing the job they start with. When you look at what they were doing, it was not being done properly. So I think this is just a continuation of an anti-Trump bias that is now becoming public. They're trying to run. The light has been scattered, and the rats are scurrying. This is what we're seeing right now.
Have you read Devin Nunes' memo?
I have read the memo, yes.
Okay, because now it's being dismissed as just, nothing to be upset about. What are your thoughts?
Well, I have read the memo. It is something to be concerned about. I'm not going to talk about what is in that memo because it is classified. But let me just say this. I believe it should be out in the public. I believe that the public needs to understand that what has been said and what we have been seeing all along is something that needs to be said. So I think the Intelligence Committee is going to handle that.
And the House Intelligence Committee now gearing up for a vote on whether to release that classified memo that was authored by Committee Chair Devin Nunes. It alleges surveillance abuses at the Justice Department as well as under the Obama administration. Republican Representative Darrell Issa arguing that all Americans should know and see this memo. Let's take a listen.
The American people have an absolute right to know this, just like some of these other investigations that we've had.
And are you confident that they will?
I'm confident that the committee will vote. I'm sad to say Adam Schiff and the Democrats will all vote no. But then when the people of America see the 4 pages and then the additional documents, what they're going to see is we have a problem in the FISA court.
We've had congressmen, sir, who've read this memo saying it's like Watergate. And Americans are thinking, well, what's in it? What's the bombshell revelation in it?
Well, I think here's the bottom line, and this is the one thing we need to be very careful of. The memo is very concerning. The memo has issues that need to be addressed. What we do not need to do is do not need to speculate with top secret information. We do, unlike Hillary Clinton, need to handle classified information properly. And we need to do so in a way that then gets us out in the order in which it is set out to do.
All right, so you're worried. You're worried about it? You're worried?
I'm not worried about the information. I think the information needs to get out there. I think we need to do it properly and without conjecture so that people understand that when we do have an issue, we can actually solve it.
So Jason Chaffetz, he's a former Republican representative. He says he, too, wants the memo released, and he explains why he feels that way. Let's roll tape.
It goes to the heart of what we're scared about in America is that our government is actually spying on us. And if they're using bogus information on funds that were obtained in a political campaign to write a dossier, I want to know the answer to that question. I would think that Democrats would want to know the answer to that question, too.
Is the government spying on political opponents? Is it spying on everybody? What's your thought?
I think what we have here is a concern that has been voiced. It's coming through committees. There's an issue that we have now began to see, and I think the Intelligence Committee and Chairman Nunes has talked about this. We have an issue that believes that's going through the FISA courts and the issues that we need to deal with. This has all been a discussion that they've been looking at. I think what Chairman Nunes was wanting the members of the House to go and see this, to make their own opinions, and also to give feedback. When they gave that feedback, most of the conversations I've heard is that this does need to be released so that people can understand that there is transparency, that there is being people held accountable. The worst thing you could ever have is when you believe that the people are not getting the honest truth from the ones who are supposed to enforce the laws. This was a double standard that existed in the Obama administration almost from day one, and we got to fix it.
Well, it's really being sold as Watergate. Americans will be the judge of that. Celebrities Michael Moore, Whoopi Goldberg, Mark Ruffalo they're planning to lead a Resist Trump celebrity protest tomorrow night. They're calling it the People's State of the Union protest. Congress missed protest is billed as a public alternative to the president's first State of the Union address. What do you think? Do celebrities represent all Americans, everyone, all of the people?
Well, they don't represent me, and I think in the interesting fact here is many times are out of touch with what's going on. They're wonderful actors, they're wonderful actors. Let them do what they do, and if they want to have free speech, that's what this country's founded. For those of us, by the way, in the military, for that teacher out in California, we are smart, we are brightest. That's the best and brightest America. And if these want to go out, these celebrities want to go out and trash this president, trash our country, then okay, unfortunately, under freedom of expression and freedom of speech, they can do that. But let's take a second. When they trash things like $1,000 bonus, when they trash people who are actually working class folks who are getting raises and being able to spend that money, look, they're not like Miss Pelosi who can spend $10,000 a night on a vacation at a posh resort. These are folks who are just trying to buy shoes for their kids. They're trying to go out and make a better living for themselves. I want these celebrities to understand who watches their film.